Former Anthony Joshua and Dillian Whyte opponent Joseph Parker has come out and said that it will be Dillian Whyte who wins the rematch, and Dillian Whyte hits much harder. Now, Anthony Joshua and Dillian Whyte have shared a ring before, so this will be a rematch, but this time Joseph Parker is tipping Dillian Whyte to win the battle. Last time Anthony Joshua beat Dillian Whyte, he caught him with a very hard overhand right shot that landed clean on the temple, scrambling Dillian Whyte's senses, and he could not recover. It was an uppercut that finished him off. He could not get up, although he would have tried probably. So, Joseph Parker has 2 losses on his record. One comes from Anthony Joshua and one comes from Dillian Whyte, so he has faced both of them. And he is backing Dillian Whyte to win the rematch, and he says that Dillian Whyte hits harder than Anthony Joshua, which I don't think is a fair analysis because I don't think Anthony Joshua really landed clean on him. He just jabbed his head off all night, whereas with Dillian Whyte, Joseph Parker engaged more and traded with him, so obviously he's going to be vulnerable to being caught harder and more clean by Dillian Whyte. So I don't think really that's a fair analysis to make that Anthony Joshua doesn't hit as hard as Dillian Whyte. And that shot that Dillian Whyte caught him with, I don't know how he got up, that was one hell of a shot. It caught him clean and I don't think Joseph Parker really even saw it coming. So that put him down, but he seemed to get up. He did look a bit wavy on his legs, but still he managed to carry on and finish the fight and almost stopped Dillian Whyte in the end. But as I said, they were engaging more and it was more of a fight than a boxing match. Whereas AJ outboxed Joseph Parker and they were not really allowed to trade on the inside because the ref would just reset them every time they came in and started holding. He didn't allow them to work out of it at all, he just reset them, which I guess kind of worked a bit towards Anthony Joshua, but still he would have worked on the inside. But styles do make fights, and I don't think you can compare these 2 fights because, as I said, Dillian Whyte versus Joseph Parker was more of a fight. There was some technical ability involved, but you could see that Dillian Whyte just wanted to rough up Joseph Parker and bully him, and that's exactly what he did. He imposed his strength and size on him and his weight advantage, and Joseph Parker, for me, is the better boxer between him and Dillian Whyte. But Dillian Whyte made it a fight. He done what he had to do to win, and it was an exciting fight. It wasn't like he just grabbed hold, turned him, and was boring for it the whole fight. He made it a good fight to watch. In boxing, you cannot judge past opponents. One fighter may beat one quite easily, and the other fighter may struggle. It's just like I said, styles make fights, and Anthony Joshua already has a win over Dillian Whyte. Granted, Dillian Whyte was younger, he was slightly out of shape in that fight, and I don't think he had a trainer that really suited him. So obviously there are those variables. But still, as I said, styles make fights, and Anthony Joshua versus Dillian Whyte is a very different prospect from Anthony Joshua versus Joseph Parker. That will be more of a fight than a boxing match, I think. I think that to begin with, Anthony Joshua will come out boxing, and it will be a battle of the jabs as they both work each other out. But I think after the 4th or 5th round, it will turn into a fight, because they don't like each other, and they both want to take each other out of there. They don't want a points decision win over each other, they want to knock each other out. That's why that makes that such a great fight. And again, I don't see how you can really judge their power because Anthony Joshua didn't really land clean on Joseph Parker because he was moving so much. So, I mean, it was a different fight with Dillian Whyte. He got caught clean a couple of times, and that is the reason why he thinks that Dillian Whyte hits harder, because he got caught so much. Now, that's not to say that Dillian Whyte does not pack a punch. I think he is very, very heavy-handed. I'm just saying you cannot judge their power based on those 2 fights. But what I am saying is you cannot judge their power in this way. As I said, they were completely different matchups. But yeah, Dillian Whyte hits very, very hard, I believe. You saw what he done to Lucas Bryan. He laid him out completely, and he is the first person to ever drop Joseph Parker. So yeah, he does hit very hard. Now, while I don't agree with these comments from Joseph Parker, obviously he has been in there with both of them, so he kind of has some gauge on their power. But as I said, he cannot gauge Anthony Joshua's power correctly until he takes a full-blown shot from him. But yeah, I do respect him, and I respected him as a world champion way more than Deontay Wilder because he was willing to get in there and fight and risk his world championship belt. That is a true champion. Anyway guys, what are your thoughts on these comments? Does Dillian Whyte hit as hard as Anthony Joshua or even harder? And what happens in the rematch? Please drop your thoughts in the comments below. Please like the video and subscribe for more content. Thank you guys.